Yes, welcome to the Edward Fowler Show, live in the UK in Manchester on this lovely afternoon or morning, depending where some people are. And I am delighted to welcome on my next guest. It was partly thanks to Myra Diaz-Gomez. I contacted her over the weekend asking who would she recommend me to have on the show next, because we had some trouble with getting on the other suggestion she gave me. But she mentioned have on Karen. So I thought, why not? And joining us in Los Angeles right now is Karen Tran. How are you doing here this afternoon? If I can actually get you on my source here. But how are you doing? They should be able to hear you.
You know, just trucking along, so can't complain.
Indeed. And tell us as well, let us begin, really, and hopefully this will come out. There we go. Yes, it works. Tell us your journey, because of course you're from Australia, and how was it like growing up in one of the warmest countries in the world? It's quite a lovely place, Australia, and I think you're from Sydney. Is that correct?
Yes, that is correct. You know, Sydney and LA are pretty on par in terms of climate and the sort of vibe of people. But like you said, the warmer climate, that's something that I just am so used to. And when I first came to LA, even though it is probably like one of the warmest places in the country, I still couldn't deal with the winters. It would be anything less than 70 degrees, I would have to have like 2 jackets on, and everyone would think I was absolutely insane. But that's just me. I would just, I'm the first person to complain about being cold. So that was definitely a little bit of a tough adjustment for me. But everyone always told me when I first moved here that, if I didn't kind of love it and feel comfortable in within a year and a half to 2 years, that I just wouldn't be able to make it here. And it's been since 2011 now, so I think I can safely say that I've acclimated okay to LA and to America in general. But yeah, no, it's great here.
Oh, that's good to hear. And of course, Los Angeles is another good place to live. It's, as I say, it never rains in Los Angeles. It does rain, but not as often.
But it's actually raining, has been raining like crazy for the last 2 weeks, which is
wow.
Which is maybe just on par with how crazy everything is going on in the world. Hey, we'll just have a whole bunch of rain in LA. Why not?
Yeah. Well, I mean, even though everyone's can't be able to go outside as much, so it's a good thing, really, because nobody's gonna get wet as much.
It's true. It's it's definitely keeping people indoors. I'm kind of an introverted indoors person anyway, so I'm it's not really that different for me.
And let's talk about as well then moving from Australia and why you made the decision to move from Australia to America. Was it because it was easier connections because of the work you were doing as well?
It was definitely career driven. It in about 2010, I came out for a big design conference called ProMax BDA, which is a gathering of creative individuals that are involved in the broadcast industry. So really creating promos and key art for different TV networks and stuff all over the world. So that was the first time I'd ever come out to not just LA, but just America in general. And, I'd been working for a number of years in, a few studios and stuff around Australia. But when I came here and just realized how deep the industry was and how just why the creative was here, I just felt like I just had to be a part of it. And, I got into a point in my career where I just wanted to test the waters outside of just basically just sent my reel out to a bunch of companies that I really wanted to work for, that I'd admired for years and years and years, and got a few job offers, and then 6 months later, I was living in Hollywood. So, it was really just fast and furious. And I haven't really looked back since. I definitely do miss like the lifestyle, and just obviously all my friends and family are still back home in Australia. But in terms of my career and just what I love to do, which is basically just be creative and just to make stuff, it was like the perfect place. And I just, I knew that being in LA would be like the best step for my career. So I just, gave it a good shot, and yeah, here I am.
Yeah, so there you are, living in Hollywood, where all the big people, all the most important people live. So I can say you are a very important person, because on TV you made some of awesome graphics, some awesome motion graphics as well. I don't know the difference, but I'm sure you can give us the down low on the differences and all the other aspects that I may not know about, I may have missed out. But I mean, what got you involved in that area of work then? Was it through school or college you went to and fell in love with it, or what was it?
It was, well, I basically went to university for design. My major was in graphics and textiles, actually.
Oh, okay.
But in my final year of design school, I ended up picking up a job at a post-production house called Frame Set and Match. And I just wanted to, like anyone in college, just wanted to pick up some extra money, but you wanted to do it at least in a company that had some sort of semblance of some relation to a creative industry. At that stage, I didn't even really know what I wanted to do. Like when I first got into university, I wanted to get into web design. Thank God I did not do that. So I ended up picking up a job as a runner, which is basically the same as like what you call a PA here. Making coffees, picking up lunch, dropping hard drives and tapes off, at clients and studios and stuff like that. And we also had like an in-house kitchen there. So I had, experience as a sandwich hand prior to that. So I was able to get the job based on the fact that I knew how to make sandwiches and coffees. And I worked in this post-production house, and they were starting their own design department. Like it hadn't started at the time that I joined the ranks there, and they knew that I was finishing up school, and they said, do you want to come on board as an intern? And that was my perfect opportunity to get my foot in the door. So I went from making coffees at that company to then being the junior designer there, and I ended up staying there for 9 years, moving up from intern to junior designer to then senior designer. And that was basically how I got into the sort of moving graphics side of things. So in answer to your question earlier about the difference between graphics and motion graphics, I mean, it's basically just the word motion. Like you could see a graphic on a piece of paper or something that's flat, and motion graphics is basically just putting life and animation to it in interesting and fun ways. And that was always something that was interesting to me, was just how you could bring something to life that was a visually interesting graphic composition. Like how could that graphic language be translated into something that was moving on screen? So that really fascinated me, and just got me on the path of just taking my design background and my design education into something that was actually a little bit more interesting for me.
Yeah, absolutely. And I always find it fascinating as well, because because when I watch TV shows over here, I just love to know how much work and because people don't really say thank you to the people who make the actual work. They always say thank you to the presenter for bringing the story together. But really, without the person making the graphics and making it all come to a life, kind of thing, without them, the show isn't going to be as good. They might have good hosts, they might have good guests on the show, but without a good intro or graphics, personally, I don't think it's going to be a very good show, kind of thing. It makes the show come together. And I think if I got this working, again, this is live, so anything can happen. Let's just see. This might work. I don't know. You should be able to see something. Here.
Yeah.
There you go. You can now see Karen's website. That's right, Karen's website here on your screen. That I will scroll across this now in a moment. I'm just going to fix the screen. Bear with me here.
Look at that.
Transform fit the screen. There you go. It can kind of work like that. I'm just going to turn Karen off. Ooh.
That's fancy.
That is off about that. And I'm glad you can see that. I'm just going to turn that camera off, and I'm going to turn the guest off. Okay. So this is Karen's website. Again, it's not the best, but I'm hoping you can see some of the work. I'm sure as we are scrolling down in minutes, it should come down. But you can see she's done graphic for New Japan Pro Wrestling, Women of Wrestling, Access TV Fights, and many others on here as well. And I went through last night at the different graphics you've created just on this website, and they are absolutely outstanding work you've done. And which one of these on this website was the hardest to make, if there was one? I apologize why the screen is not moving, but you can go to KarenTran.tv to see them yourself. But as I bring my guest back in, there you go. You're back live. But yeah, was there a particular one which was hard to make, or were they all quite straightforward because you knew the process?
The one that stands out to me as not so much like the hardest, like technically, but the most challenging was probably the sports package that we did for a Brazilian sports channel called Sport TV.
Yes, I watched that one.
Yeah, so they're, I think, a pretty big, sort of TV conglomerate over in Brazil, and it was the most challenging. It was probably the most challenging project in my career, just based on the sheer number of moving elements that were part of the project. It was not just branding like the channel overall, but like all the different subsets of sports that they had, and each sort of section was quite demanding, and we had a pretty solid team. I worked on that project at a studio called Troika, who are out in LA. It was actually the company that sponsored me out to move to America. So really grateful that I got the opportunity to work for them, and I was with them for 4 years and worked on a lot of high profile projects there. But yeah, so just the sheer sort of moving parts of that project made it really challenging, along with, always limited budget and deadlines and things like that. But, the upside was I got to travel to Brazil to present the concepts to the creative team there. And that was, just an incredible experience overall. So, even though it was tough, it was definitely very rewarding for me, and still very happy with the outcome of that project.
Yeah, absolutely. And I'm just going to I've now fixed the issue, so this should work now here. So that does now show what I'm doing behind the scenes. So you're going to see a behind the scenes look now on my show. Motion Terry. So but back on the website now, this would work now here on the Edward Fowler show, and this is what she was on about, the sports TV package. If I just load this up, I'm not going to play the video because again I don't have permission from the company, but I watched this video and it was fascinating, absolutely fascinating how you're able to get all the moving parts from like I think it was like a rugby player in it, I think, and there was so much going on in the actual video itself. It was amazing how you were able to put it all together using the graphics you used as well. And how did you get the footage? Did they give you particular footage to use to add to it? Because I know it was quite a unique backdrop as well. Was it? Did you get to pick the which athletes got featured, like which different sports got featured in it, or did you have a script of what they wanted and you had to find different footage for that, or how did that all came together? If you can explain that.
It was actually a combination of the client suggesting certain pieces of footage to be used, and then also there was one section that was for the MMA part of the package, and for that one, because we didn't really have any good footage, the rights to any good footage at the time, or we actually just went out and shot a couple of my friends that are MMA fighters in a gym that my friend owned, and we just ended up using that instead. It just ended up being cheaper than trying to find the right shot on any kind of stock website or anything like that. So yeah, it was definitely a combination of things, and there's definitely a lot of the way that a lot of these projects go is just you have to just kind of find the most creative and innovative way to get footage or to get material, and it's not necessarily the most just straightforward and standard way. Like I've definitely had my fair share of shoots where I've used a skateboard as like a dolly, and stuff like that. Just coming up with solutions that just aren't necessarily like in any kind of like textbook or anything like that. So yeah,
that's pretty cool. That. And how were you able to, for example, when you filmed some of the footage in the MMA building, I think you said, did you have that? Did you have a green screen behind it? Means you're able to blow out the background, or how did that work as well?
Well, I think with that one with that one in particular, we were using a series of still shots, so we were able to just shoot them on like a clean background. I think it was red at the time, and
gotcha.
And then just and cut out the images that way, and then just use them in like the sort of right kind of context within that 3D world we created.
Pretty cool. That's awesome. So then as well, now not only were you creating these awesome graphics and motion designs, but you also produce and direct some of these as well. So I bet that was quite interesting, and bossing people about, saying you need to stand in this position and all that stuff. And who were some of the people you got to meet? Because on some of them things you were saying, I was so happy I was able to live a lifelong dream of doing this.
Yeah.
I think I could be wrong, but I know you created the poster for the UFC a few years ago, and as the internet at the time was saying, the best poster ever for the UFC, right. and I actually agree with that. It was one of the best posters. I watched that fight, and I did not, in a million moons, did not think I would ever meet the person behind that. So this is actually great for me. So much appreciated. And but yeah, there we go. And I've lost my tail of thought now, but I hoped you got what I was meaning.
I mean, yeah, definitely. That was the one of the projects that stood out to me as like the holy shit moment of this. I'm just like some generic kid from the western suburbs of Sydney, and all of a sudden I'm flying to Vegas to go and shoot two of my favorite fighters at the Ultimate Fighter training center, and it was like that to me was just a moment where I was like, holy crap, but it was pretty amazing just to infuse the sort of vision that I had for, because at the time MMA was really, because that post I think came out, she's like 2013 or something like that, which was 7 years ago, which is crazy to even think about.
I know. It's a long time ago now. Think about it. I mean, it was so good back then. Even now, it's still good as well. But I mean, back then, mind-blowing talent available.
So at the time, I felt like the aesthetic of a lot of MMA promotion was centered around, this kind of like a cheesy metal beveled embossed type, and graphics of cages and blood splatter, and just really just kind of fringe looking, just underground poster style. And I've always wanted to infuse a little bit more of like an artistic vision to some of the promotions artworks, and the chance that I got to work on this project was like mind blowing, because I'm like, finally I can, like, I've always been an MMA fan for a long time. So just having a hand at like infusing some of my vision into that world was like pretty incredible. So yeah, the chance to just, direct the shoot, and, use just like more dramatic lighting, and just, have more of like a sort of like cinematic approach to it all, was like, it was so incredible. But yeah, I'm rambling on now. Like,
No.
but yeah, it was pretty wild to think that that I was like standing in front of like, two of my favorite fighters at the time, just telling them like how to stand and how to pose and how to cross their arms and all that sort of stuff. But yeah,
I'm really quite willing to listen to your guidance as well, or like doing their own little things, or
they were pretty. I mean, I think a lot of the fighters are used to just being in front of the cameras and stuff, so they were very cooperative, and just willing to go with whatever I was asking of them. So it wasn't asking them to do anything too crazy, just
yeah.
but yeah, they were very cooperative and easy to work with.
That's good, because I know, because I've heard stories before when some people get asked to do certain things, they put a move, or they try to add their own little taste into it, don't they, as well? So I'm glad that wasn't the case for you. And I know you've done a lot of work for Access TV, particularly with Women of Wrestling, and then you've done some other shows on there. Like, I think there's a talk show. I could be wrong about this awesome guy who does like has on different guests, I think, every week, and even a country music show. I believe that's on Access TV. You've done stuff for them. So what is next for you then? Have you got anything coming up in line for Access TV or anything in particular? I know you've done stuff for Food Network as well. You rebranded them before.
I was actually the art director at Access TV for 3 years, so that's why I, had a hand in a lot of the creation of the show packages there, which was, a phenomenal time in my career. That's how I really got into wrestling, was having to work on the New Japan Pro Wrestling branding and marketing for Access TV, and I believe it was Wrestle Kingdom 11 was the first show that I really got to brand and package, and definitely had an amazing time working there. But since I left there in November actually of 2019, I've really just been focused on working on, in the creative side with brands like NWA and WOW Women of Wrestling. So that's really where my focus is right now. And just, ever since I've moved on from there, I've just pretty much decided that, I just want everything in my life creatively to do with like MMA and wrestling and just fitness in general, because that's just like where my passions are. And I think I'm at a point in my career where I want to be able to put my time and energy into things that I believe in, and things that really that I'm passionate about. So I'm really fortunate that I'm in a position where I'm able to do that right now, and I really can't complain, because I get to wake up every day and just make stuff for like people, and to work with people that I admire, and companies that I admire. So yeah, that's basically where I'm at now.
Yeah, and for everybody tuning in to Leon as well, this is the person who has helped to create, if I can say this again, she might get mad at me, she might find a flight to Manchester, UK once things come to normal and beat me up for saying this, but you are kind of one of the main people behind the logo and all the motion graphics behind the NWA as well. Am I correct about that?
Yes. Well, yes, you are correct. The show that's on currently, well, up until recently, resuming very soon. NWA Power, I was, fortunate to be able to create the logo and the show package for that, which was, just an absolutely phenomenal experience, because obviously the legacy of the brand is just, you know, it's unmeasured, and the chance to just have, just to have input in, the evolution of that brand as it moves forward is something that's like just absolutely incredible to me. So yeah, it was, a fantastic project to work on, and then just being able to, like, work with all the talent and the team there. Like, everyone is just so passionate about what they do. It just makes everything just such a great experience. I can't speak any more positively about it, I don't think, without sounding like a complete cheeseball.
No, we all get it, and we all know that you are very happy with how it all came out with the logo and with the show open, and again, all thanks to you. And it's an awesome logo. It gets us, I believe, all hyped up for an hour of action just by seeing the show open, the show countdown of when it's going to begin, and then we've seen that lovely open with you created, and I bet it was quite difficult to choose from the best footage to use in the open as well, like which footage to use.
Well, that was actually created, was edited together by Lagana. So, I had a hand in the graphic part of that, but definitely credit to him for, like, his amazing editing skills and choice of music and stuff to really set the mood and tone for the big hour of Power.
Exactly. But I leave one thing. It wasn't all the pressure was not on you to pick the best action to put the show open, so that's a good thing.
Yeah.
But apart from that, though, yeah, it's fantastic from that guy as well, doing a wonderful job of that. And many people may not like the music choices in that company, but whatever people think, you can't deny how much time and effort's gone into making something so great. And look forward to seeing it back on our screens. Hopefully soon.
Hopefully soon.
Let's talk about as well, then back to, if we just backtrack a little bit, okay? So to back into Women of Wrestling. Now, not only have you created graphics and motion designs and whatever else you want to call it, you are also a part of the active roster there, aren't you?
Yes.
And now, I'm going to pronounce your wrestling name incorrectly because it's quite a unique name, and I apologize for that. But here's my interaction of what I think it's called, and you can tell me the exact version of it, okay? So I think it's pronounced Exodus, but it's not called that, is it?
I mean, I could see how you would pronounce it that way. But maybe with my, like, slurred, mumbled Australian accent, I just kind of I get lazy with the pronunciation. You're much more proper with it. I mean, I think it's just Exodus, but people might have their own interpretation of the pronunciation as well, depending on what part of the world you're from.
Before I go any further, we've got a live chat question from Eddie Moore. It's how you pronounce it. He says, what poster was it? I don't know. I don't understand what he means by that. Maybe you do. I'm asking it to you, but do you have a clue what he's on about?
I don't. I could just make something up.
Is it maybe is it to do with the NWA logo? Maybe is that what the question's on about, Eddie? If you're still there, please do reply with another comment, and we'll try to ask Karen the question. Apologies for that, because you've stunned us a little bit there. But yeah, so how would you pronounce your wrestling name then? In your own way, because you're a part of this. Oh, I see. He's just responded for UFC. It was 173.
Yes.
It's on.
It was with the flags.
That's right, with the flags. Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. And it's available on Karen. I forgot your name now.
KarenTran.tv.
That's it. Can't remember the last bit there. Thank you. I knew it began. I knew it ended .tv there. So my mistake. But yeah, I'm so intrigued in how Karen pronounces her wrestling name. I forgot her own website. My apologies.
I pronounce it Exodus.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, that's cool. It's a good name, by the way. Did anyone help you come up with that name, or by you? Or, did you just come up? Oh my God, here we are. Before you go any further, Goldilocks. It says keep up the incredible work. Thank you so much, Goldilocks. It's good to see you in my live chat. You're meant to be coming on my show hopefully soon as well, so we look forward to reconnecting with you. But over to you to answer that question. Apologies for interrupting you.
Sorry, I just lost my train of thought.
We were talking about did anyone help
the
you?
name. Yes, sorry.
Blame me.
It was definitely not something that I would have personally come up with, but it was the creative team at WoW that decided that that would be my name. It makes sense in the faction that I'm in. So my tag team partner is Genesis, and we are part of a tag team called EXILE. So yeah, it's all part of a bigger picture in terms of the creative storylines over at WoW.
Yeah, and definitely, and I have to say as well. Again, I did some research because I do some research on the Fowler show. I tell people I don't do no research. I do a little bit of research and just bounce back and forth with my guests. So this is what I found out from WowWrestling.com. Wow Superheroes, I think it's called WowSuperheroes.com. I could be wrong about that. But
it's WOWE.com.
That's it. There we go. The experts in the room. That's why I bring on experts on this show. But on the website, it said that you guys made your debut after the Women's Tag Team Championship match, I believe it was. You got the 3 horsewomen of this company now, just making yourselves an impact and causing havoc and disruption. So how did that all come about then? The group were you all happy to be a part of this big huge group to cause disruption and mayhem in WoW?
I mean, it's very much in line with the who I am, just to come in and just, cause a muck, really. A disruptor, if you will. My tag team partner and I are trainees under, legend Malaya Hosaka, and she's taken us under her wing to train us up and to really just, cause some shit within the WoW roster. And, it's really not that, it's not a storyline whatsoever. It's like, that's basically very much the truth. We are her trainees, and, she's been an absolute incredible entity to work under, and to learn wrestling under her. It's like, I really couldn't imagine any other path to get into wrestling, to be honest. So very fortunate for the way that things unfolded.
Yeah, absolutely. And now we had on Wei Lin the other week on the Fowler show, and we asked her a question about a season, of On Access TV. We understand that you guys have already filmed the upcoming season. It's just been waiting to come out on Access TV. So please check out Access TV on social media to keep up to date of when they might drop the next season of WoW Wrestling, because it's the most talked about show on Access TV, apart from Impact Wrestling, of course. But I can't wait to see it, and again, I look forward to hoping it will come out soon to give us something more to think about and enjoy while all this other stuff is going on in the world. Now, as well, you've got some background in MMA as well. This is what I found out. I could be completely wrong, that you've had some MMA training. Is that correct? If so, would you ever think of entering an octagon and maybe having a fight with someone?
It's not completely correct. I have done a little bit of MMA training in my past, but my combat sports background is definitely rooted in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, so I'm much more of a grappler than I am of, a striker or anything like that.
Yeah.
So, I've been training in Jiu-Jitsu for about 12 years. I actually just got my black belt from legend featherweight Cobrinha right before all this quarantine stuff happened. So, just my black belt is sitting there waiting to be used, really. So yeah, I definitely been involved in the sort of competitive side of jiu-jitsu for a good number of those years, but haven't, other than like a couple of like small in-house tournaments I did at my very, very first martial arts school, which is the closest thing you could call to a mixed martial arts bout, where we did a lot of punching and kicking and grappling. I've not fought in any kind of MMA context whatsoever, and I don't have any plans to do that. I in the very short amount of time that I did train in mixed martial arts, I actually broke my nose.
Oh no!
When I was shooting in for a takedown, and the guy decided to pull up a knee at the same time, and I can safely say that it was probably the most painful thing I've ever experienced, and there was definitely a lot of blood that was coming out of my face at the time, and to see that amount of blood all over my hands and all over the mats was quite startling. So at that point, I was like, yeah, I think I'm okay with not doing that anymore. So I'll just stick to the grappling side of things.
Yes. I think you made a good choice after that, and I never forget. I was watching an episode of Monday Night War. And I never forget when Seth Rollins kneed John Cena in the nose, and he broke his nose. And I've never seen anything like that on WWE before in my life. I'm thinking, wow, this is different. And he continued the match, covered in his own blood. So it was very interesting. I'm glad I didn't stay up to 3 o'clock in the morning watching that live. So it was quite grateful, but I can understand why you chose a different path, and you made, I think, a correct path. You're doing something better, and you're not getting kneed in the nose a lot or getting it broken again. So that's the main thing. Now then, as well, I want to ask you this. Okay, now this came in on Twitter after I announced it on Twitter the other day, because this was only set up 2 days ago. By the way, we actually all came together on Saturday. So I don't waste no time here on the Edward Fowler Show. And by the way, on that Saturday, I had you contacting me. I had another guest who I'm meant to come on the show this Thursday from the XFL. I'm just waiting for a response about what time we can do on Thursday. But looking forward to that, hopefully. And then we had another guest, another person I reached out to last year on Twitter, who actually just saw my DM. So he's interested as well. So I got little people bombarding me on Saturday after I got in contact with Karen. So all thanks to you, Karen, because I think Sweet is telling me that this is the person I needed on to help me to kickstart more people come on the show. So again, much appreciated. But this question came in from a Twitter user at Mike Full Black. Okay, he says, ignoring coronavirus stuff, how do you feel about the state of women's wrestling today? Good question, I think.
That is a good question. My thoughts on the state of women's wrestling today would be that it is definitely I think it's a good sort of spread of talent that is not just charismatic but super athletic, and also just not just if you think back to women's wrestling, in the sort of mid-90s and early 80s, where it was a little bit of a, tits and ass show, to say that it's come far from that would be an understatement. So, I think it is legitimately viewed as, or to me, it's legitimately viewed as like, an athletic endeavor, and I think that it can only move forward in in sort of like a more positive light for younger girls that want to get into I'm going to call it a sport. I want to get into the sport because it is a sport.
Yes, yeah, absolutely right.
There's nothing that takes there's nothing about what pro wrestling is that can't be defined under what sport is, so yeah, I mean, it's just, I love where it's at the moment, the different personalities and the different body types, and just, how all encompassing it is just incredible. And, I'm super fortunate to be a part of it, in any way, shape or form I can be right now. So yeah, it's a good question.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you for that question. One of our regular viewers on this channel, so I'm sure he will see that question when he comes and views us in a bit, I'm guessing. Let's talk about this then as well. I keep mentioning this, but is there a particular person you want to eventually step in the ring with? Because feel free to call them out on the Edward Fowler show if you wish to.
I'm pretty green, so any chance for me to get into the ring with anyone right now is like a blessing for me. So I'm not in a position to really call anyone out right now, but anyone who wants to step in my way, for sure, I'll step up and battle. But yeah, like I think any chance that I can get where I'm healthy and able to wrestle is a good day. So yeah, I'm not going to be particular or choosy about who I get to wrestle. But yeah, at this point in time, I'm just lucky to be able to do it. So yeah.
Absolutely, and of course as well. But I'm hoping as well for the show that you will come back on the show again, okay? Because we would love to have you back on the show again if you will be willing to, if you enjoyed yourself. Because so far it seems you have, because we've had a lot of laughs here on the Edward Fowler show, which we enjoy. Again, this is a entertainment show. That's why it's under the entertainment category, not under the sports category.
Right.
I could have choose to put under the sports category, but I still think it's an entertaining show, in my opinion. But okay, so let's talk about this as well. I keep saying that word. I love using that word. What goals do you want to achieve then? When things go back to the norm, is there anything you want to achieve? Do you want to come to the UK? Maybe. Do you want to beat some people up here to get a bit more experience before you call out anybody from Women of Wrestling or NWA or anything like that? Or anybody else?
I absolutely want to be able to wrestle in as many continents as possible before my body decides to give out on me. And the UK would definitely be up there. But yeah, just my goals would be just to wrestle in as many places as I can while I still can, and just to continue being able to put my time and energy into things that I truly am passionate about and believe in. I mean, that's really all I can ask for in life, and I think if you can do that, then you really not be considered successful. Like, if that's how you get to spend your days, then that's the definition of success for me. So yeah.
Yeah, and we hope that at some point in the future you get to come to the UK and see some of the wildest fans in the world, because people say that the UK has got some of the wildest fans and the passionate fans because we love our soccer, and and a lot of people in the US are now starting to realise that with their own Major League Soccer as well, with chants and all that business, which we all start here in the UK. So we'd love to see it coming over there. So we hope that you get either cheered or booed, depending how you come over here. Because at the moment, if I believe, this could be wrong, but at the moment with your faction, you are a group of badass women looking to make a statement. Is that true?
That is pretty much on point. Yes.
Yes, there we go. Of course, we don't get it over here. We unfortunately don't get Access TV in this country, but Access TV is a great company, great TV network, and again, keep a lookout on Access TV for all of their latest news regarding the upcoming season, which could drop at any moment from Women of Wrestling?
I would just keep your eye out on the WoW socials, at WoW Superheroes, and on Twitter and Instagram, and WOWE.com for any upcoming season information, because everything could change all at the last minute. So.
Exactly. Yeah. So that's a nice plug. And speaking of plugs, let's plug your social media, because of course throughout the show we've been plugging Karen Tran's social medias on Twitter and Instagram. For anyone who may be listening to this and maybe not actually watching this at the same time, where can they find you on social media?
At Hey Karen Tran, Twitter and Instagram.
Yep. Keeping it short and sweet, because you like to keep it the same. I'm not like that. I like to confuse people and to make them search for my name. Just the way I am. Anyway, because I started my Twitter account way before I started my Instagram account, so that's the reason why. I thought instead of just renaming my Twitter account, I just thought I'd rename my Instagram or something else to make it a bit more easier. But that's my opinion. That's what I did. So means are you still gonna be taking on projects for motion designs and stuff like that, or is that
absolutely. I'm taking on all projects, so open for business 24/7.
That's cool. And how can people reach you through the website KarenTran.tv, or is there a particular place?
I mean, if you want to check out my professional side of things, definitely go to KarenTran.tv. But best way to reach me would just be through socials at Hey Karen Tran on Twitter and Instagram. There
you go. So go follow Karen Tran on Twitter and Instagram and help her grow her portfolio and her fan base to reach more people. I mean, more people can see more of her awesome work in the graphics side, and see what she does on TV, because she's like a menace. And of course, on the thumbnail we use, which I use on Twitter and Instagram with permission from Karen over the weekend, when she means business, then that's a business face on the profile picture, which we used on the socials. What a very scary face, I have to say. and I thought, when I saw that face, and I thought, oh, I might be in trouble here on Monday night on Easter Monday. But actually, she's quite a hilarious kind of person.
I mean, I can be sometimes.
Sometimes. Maybe but where there's a ring, then she's very scary. But when she's nowhere near a ring, she's very friendly, very friendly and very kind, and putting out all the laughs on this show to make it very entertaining, which we like here on the Fowler Show. Is there anything you would like to plug or mention, which maybe I'm not mentioned? Because have you got any merch you have as well, or not?
I don't. Oh, actually, I do. I completely. What's wrong with me? My marketing brain is not on. ProWrestlingTees.com. Check out WoW Women of Wrestling store, and you can find the Exodus t-shirt on there, or the EXILE shirt if you want to support the faction. So that's my merch plug.
There you go. That's why I thought I mentioned it, because I was pretty sure you did have one, but I just wanted to check. Yeah. So I'm glad we can make that clear.
It's a test.
Good to ProWrestlingTees.com. If you can help and support Karen, then please do. Of course, it is a difficult time, so we can understand if you don't have enough money or anything like that to support that. But if you can, then please do. Well, it will mean a world to Karen, and it helps her out financially as well. But there we go. It is 53 minutes into the show on the Fowler Show on this lovely Easter Monday. How was your Easter, by the way? Was it an okay one?
It was, full of lots of eating, so really can't complain.
That's good to hear. What anything particularly?
A lot of chocolate, sadly, and wine.
Chocolate's maybe good for you now. Anyway, according to Fox 5 New York, basically they say that when you eat chocolate, it's meant to be good for coughs and sore throats and such. So apparently so. So I'm taking that advice. I mean, every time I have a cough now, I eat chocolate and it goes away. It really does work. It's not just like a theory.
If it works, it works, right? I mean, it's that or whiskey. I mean, why not?
There we go. There we go. And I'll never forget this as well because we had someone on the show a few weeks ago, and we asked them about the favorite drink, alcoholic drink, and I remember they just said, they said that fruit cider is very sweety. So, do you also find that fruit cider is very sweet, or do you like fruit cider?
I'm I'm impartial to a cider. They're a little sweet for me. But I'll indulge here and there. My
Yeah, there's nothing
my
else left.
drink of choice is definitely something a little stronger, like whiskey. But
Yeah,
you know,
there we go.
that's
We all got our own favorite drinks here. We do like whiskey. I've never had whiskey, but I know you can only pour a little bit into a cup. You don't really get. So is that a thing? Is it? When I see it on TV shows, they say, "Do you want whiskey?" And then they get the bottle out, and then they pour a little bit into the cup and then drink it. It's like, why don't you just pour the whole, make a whole cup of it, kind of thing. I'd pour the whole bottle into a cup and then drink it like another drink. So I don't know why people just do a little bit and then drink it.
I've done both.
You've done both?
But,
You've done both. There we
yeah,
go.
definitely gonna be in for quite the experience if you decide to pour whiskey into a glass and drink it like a normal drink. You might be writing off the rest of the day or night when you drink it. But depending on how productive you want to be, I mean, hey, go for it. Why not?
Yeah,
not
why not?
encouraging drinking whatsoever, but just saying, if you choose to do that with your Monday, then
yeah. Well, we got nothing better to do anyway, so there we go. We had here on this lovely Monday, and two more questions for you actually before we wrap this up this evening. I think I've got three. I just think another one. Sorry about that. Three. First one is, I'm liking your backdrop. By the way, we'll zoom in now on your camera. Liking your backdrop. Whereabouts are you sat? Is this your living room or is this your dining room you're in?
this is my studio. So this is basically where
I like it.
Yeah, it's basically where I, sit and procrastinate a lot. Really, I mean, let's be honest. A lot of the stuff I actually, a lot of my productivity time actually, it comes from when I'm sitting at my studio, staring at my laptop, and then deciding I want to do something else, and then dragging my laptop in front of the TV and finishing off my work there. But hey, it gives it a professional setting.
It does. It does. And
I'm actually
I'm liking,
know what I'm doing.
I'm liking all your pictures, I think, in the background. Maybe they're achievements you may have won. Now the one behind you, I think it's my right, it might be your left. It looks like a TV screen, but I just realized it's not a TV screen. It's actually a picture with writing on it. I can't make out what it is because it's quite dark. That way, yeah, that's right. Yeah,
that one.
Yeah, that's right. So I thought it was a TV screen at first. That's what I thought. Are you in your living room or something? That's why I thought, okay, but it's not. It's a picture, isn't it?
Yeah, that's actually a printed poster. If I put my camera up, you can see.
Now we can see it.
That it's actually the lyrics to "Eye of the Tiger."
Nice. That is very cool. Very cool. Is that from the Survivor, the Eye of the Tiger? I think that's right, isn't it? From the is that like a song from the Rocky movies?
Yes, it is. And it was illustrated by Neighborhood Studios. I bought that print quite a few years ago. So yeah. Nice.
That's cool. That's cool. Yeah. All I thought was a TV stream is actually the lyrics to one of the most popular songs worldwide, "Eye of the Tiger." I like it. I like it. The other question is, when Myra reached out to you on Saturday, what was your reaction? Did you Google me to see who I've had on the show?
Yes, of course. I mean, it's all research is very important, so you don't just jump into a situation where you're like, hey, you want to go on a podcast? Sure. Hey, we're going to be talking about conspiracy theories about the next 45 minutes. Is that okay with you? But yes, I did make sure at least that, it was somewhat related to things that I knew something about. So
yeah, well, on this show,
I talk about conspiracy theories too, but that's a whole other
Yeah,
a whole other hour.
yeah. I'm not really into. Well, I do like a lot of conspiracy theories, but I'm not one to discuss them because I don't think I'm very knowledgeable on these topics. But I leave it to other YouTubers who like to do that business. But I
Yeah.
just do more of
Let's
the
get that.
entertainment side of things, where we talk about sports and entertainment people we have on the show as well. And we get all. Over the past few months, I've had a lot of different celebrities on the show, and you're one of these celebrities now because you worked in the TV side of things. So you're like a celebrity. You work with some awesome business and companies and such. So this leads to my next question as well, because when you Googled me, then did you like what you saw? 'Cause I'm guessing you did.
I was very impressed.
That's
That's why
good.
I'm on the show, right?
Yes, exactly. I mean, like, did you check out any? Did you tune into any of the shows I did with other people or anything like that?
I definitely listened to snippets of some of the interviews you've had.
That's good. That's good to hear. I'm glad you enjoyed them, and I'm glad we got you on the show. So that leads into my next question, my final question to you this evening here on the Edward Fowler Show, approaching 7 p.m. here in the UK, 11 a.m. on the West Coast. Who would you suggest me to contact next to come on this show? The most entertaining podcast, talk show, entertainment show, whatever you want to call it, here in the UK, the best of the UK.
Who can I suggest?
You've got a lot of people not just in the wrestling and MMA business,
Right.
the TV world, because I went through something on your Twitter page, and it's amazing how you got somebody who works for ESPN who follows you. Very, very impressive, because I've seen some of his tweets on Twitter, to do with the MMA world and business. So that's very, very awesome that you're able to meet that person.
Let me think about that.
Yeah.
Actually.
Okay. Feel free. Yeah. There's no wash. That's the first time ever because nobody has ever done that before. They always say, "Okay, get in contact with this person," but I like that because that means they need to think, and I like that. More my guests need to say that answer more because that's important. Because they need to think it over and maybe contact some people to make sure it's okay with them first before just shouting their name out, saying, "Yeah, get in contact with this person," and then they're not interested. Kind of thing. So I like how and I appreciate Myra Diaz-Gomez for making it partly happen. Of course, to you as well for agreeing to come on this show as well. I do hope.
Yeah, thank you so much for having me. It was a blast.
It was a blast, and I'm glad I was able to make you laugh a few times here on this show. I try to make people laugh, and if you're watching this, I hope I made you laugh as well here on the best show on YouTube, the best kept secret on YouTube as well, I have to say. Best kept secret on YouTube. If you want to see more of my fantastic interviews, then please do subscribe to me on youtube.com/Edward Fowler. You can also find me on social media, _Edward Fowler _ and also on Instagram, Edward Fowler Show. Be determined that we will have someone on the show this coming Thursday from the XFL. I hope you like my Vince McMahon accent there this week. So until then, enjoy the rest of your Monday night. It's April the 13th, 2020. And thank you again to Cam for coming on the show.